As of the 13th of the 1st of 2026, the new Blender 5.1 has released, and so to commemorate that, I'm going to be making a floodlight on Blender. Here, I already added the basic cube. I then decided that it was a bad idea to scale the actual rectangle itself, so I then decided to scale the reference behind it. Looking at the image, I noted down the key features. Then from that point, I started modeling the front of the floodlight with the insets and also the extrusions and the bevels as well. Following the creation of the insets, I started having some trouble getting the bevel correct, so I just played around with it for a little bit and eventually I figured it out. The solution was to, instead of selecting all the faces in the loop, to only select the edges corresponding to that face and then apply the bevel separately to each one of them using the same distance and the same amount of faces. I then started working on the inside faces as according to the reference behind it, and I didn't have X-ray mode on, but that was because whenever I turn on X-ray mode, everything behind it selects. And I'm pretty sure there's a mode where you can see like the reference, but you can't actually select like the faces behind. But yeah. This line freely along the x-axis so that I can make this uh, thing down the bottom smaller or larger. What I'm going to do then is that I'm going to select the face and I'm going to extrude it outwards. Or actually, I might just select the edge itself and then extrude that only on the y-axis. Then I'm going to select these vertices and then join them. Hold on. How do I connect vertex path? That doesn't work here. Okay, so I actually have to connect the faces first. So J, inverted selection order. If I can maybe bridge it. No. New face, my bad. I was looking for that. So we have to create new faces along here, and then if we, yeah, so new face, and then there you go. It doesn't look as good because obviously there is some, and I'm not sure why that doesn't look good. It could be for any number of reasons, but I think that looks alright, even though there is a bit of a weird edge here. There should be a bevel with 12 segments. I'm guessing that has something to do with the smooth here. That's fine, honestly. I think what I can do is just bevel it. Yeah, I think I might just leave that as it is. You can add this bottom bit in if you want. It's not necessary, like it's not essential, but it just looks good. For the corners of the floodlight, I start making more even geometry instead of the single point that we have here, which can cause a lot of issues in like game engines and stuff. So instead of letting that result in errors, I use quads instead of, I think, tries, and that just makes the process a lot easier, right? In the next part, I'm going to start modeling the handle. See how I add the mirror modifier there? That's really important for the overall simplicity of this project. So what I did was that I created a loop cut. I uh, and then I right clicked to cancel like the move for the loop cut, so the loop cut was exactly in the middle. And then I deleted the other half of the object, applied the mirror modifier, and then started creating with it, right? To use the spin tool, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is click the face that you want to spin, right? Align the uh, cursor, so like that red rectangle thing in the middle, to that face using the orthographic view, either the top or the bottom, and then move the cursor, but not only, don't move the cursor actually, use the uh, menu that pops up in the spin tool to decide where you want the actual geometry to go. The actual reference in the stand, you can see that there's a part which has a 90-degree bend, and so I have to start doing some work with the spin tool, I believe, to get that bend to connect with the rest of the stand. So I take a little bit of time getting used to this spin tool because I haven't used it in a while, and then I managed to align up the spin tool correctly. If you're paying attention when I zoomed out, you could see that the mirror modifier actually modified the build so that it looked the same on each side. Something that I then tried was that I tried to apply a bevel modifier, but the thing is um, the shape had extra vertices, I think. You can see shortly that I make a bevel, right? But what I should have done is I should have hit the C key so that I could have used the clamp tool, and that would have allowed me to drag my mouse out fully instead of just halfway like I did there. Then I start making the actual screw. To make the first parts of the screw, I add a circle. No, I move the cursor to the middle of this arm, right? And then I add the circle. And then I use the E and S keys to extrude and scale. But then I also add another cylinder for like the actual screw part itself, for like the actual bolt part. After making the screw, I did some insets on the inside and also like some extrusions and stuff. But another thing that I did was that I applied a bevel modifier, but also on top of that, I decided to duplicate this onto the other side as well. I made the screw off screen, right? So I paused my recording, I made the screw, and there's also another tutorial link down below. I can't remember exactly what it was for now, but that will be linked down below, and so just go and watch that for the screw. Followed by the screw, I made the inside bearing, which you can see here, and that just links the inside with the like the actual outside. So I set the origin, right? So that arm links the floodlight with the arm. So I position that and then I shrink it down the Z axis. Yeah. In the final part, I decided that because no one's actually going to see the screws, it's better if I just delete it and then make like the actual tail of the screw instead of I delete the tail of the screw and then I keep the head and I align the head to the back of that bearing. Thank you for watching. If you did like it, please leave a like and a subscribe on my video. Thank you and goodbye.